up on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern and also on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're featuring many, many different brands. We're going to be doing Invicta tonight. If you saw posts from Shop HQ and also from me here, you knew that it was going to be Invicta tonight. So there are a lot of other brands also, Duke So, Cadola, RGM Nubeo. There's a lot of different ones, and they're actually new brands that are coming back to the network. So you have to stay tuned here, and also just go ahead and add in those shows here to your calendar for the live stream that's going on. So thank you, everybody. Just want to double check that you guys can hear me because I'm using a mic tonight. Let me see from Harry. Can you guys hear me okay? Harry, give me a thumbs up or somebody. Okay, cool. It says working. Just want to double check. I think there's a little bit better sound when I have the mic on. Okay, perfect. So let's see. We'll go through a couple items here of just what's going on right now. And let's see here. There is a customer appreciation sweepstakes going on, and you're able to win a $250 Shop HQ credit. Harry will put in the comments here a couple of those notes here on how you can actually win. I think you just go to the website and you can learn that. In addition to that, we have a new code here tonight because the month just changed. So it is the MAR for March wind up 20. So MAR WINDUP. Make sure to write that down. 20 to save 20% off your orders here of watches of purchases of $99 or more. So we're all about saving money. Now also be sure to follow Shop HQ as they're on social media. They're on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, X, YouTube. Be sure to follow them for that and find out the categories, watches and other categories on Shop HQ, so you can get text updates, email updates of when new things are dropping, new brands are coming back to Shop HQ. You definitely want to stay in tune. You want to be the first in line to be able to get that. So we have Navy Doc here tonight. Hi, good to see you again. My brother from another mother, as we have always said before. Phil, thank you for being here. Carlos, appreciate you being here tonight. Herb, oh my gosh, it's been a long time. Herb, he's on. He's Herb Solomon. He was actually down at one of the Hilton resorts in Cabo when we were broadcasting down there once and got to hang out with him. Super nice guy. Great to see you here, Herb. Let's see. Invicta Claus, Anthony is here too. Darius, hello. Thank you for being here also. All right. There's a little bit more key messaging going on here. I just have to get through and then we'll get to the watches. So we do have the Customer Appreciation Weekend. And so that's still going on here, I believe, for another few hours. So there are opportunities too to get some of the jewelry out there. Buy one, get one at 40% off. There's also for home, buy one, get one, 25% off. Watches, there's 30% off, which you can do. So you have to buy two watches. You can save, buy one, you get one at 30% off. Or you can use that coupon code tonight, which might make a little bit more sense. Again, that coupon code is MAR wind up 20. So that's how you're going to save that 20% off of orders of $99 or more. Last week, I did say I wanted some of you guys to contact me via social media, and that's Invicta Ryan on Facebook, but it's also then the Ryan Code, the.ryan.code on Instagram and X. And some of you guys reached out, and I just want to give you some shout outs here tonight. So Dwight and Wanda Dunham, a lot of you guys know them. Deborah Stuopa, David Reinell, Mark Harris, and also I just want to read this little note that Joyce sent me. It's Joyce Austin. And Joyce said, "Dear Ryan, I think Invicta timepieces are great works of great work of engineering. I've been with you guys for over 15 years and have never been disappointed." So thank you so much, Joyce, for being a part of the show, being part of Shop HQ, and also with Invicta here. And it's just, that made me feel really good. I wanted to give you the official shout out here. So, all right, well, we're going to kick off everything with the first watch of the show. And this is something that's new. It's actually my pick of the evening. So I will give you a pick of the watches that I present, no matter what brand or if it's multiple brands, what just stands out to me a little bit more than everything else. And so this first one is going to be the Invicta Racing 47 millimeter quartz day and day. It's a tonneau, also on a bracelet. So the regular price here for this watch is going to is $1,095. The sale price, Shop HQ, slashed down 80%, down to $199.99. And if you use that coupon code MAR for March, wind up 20, brings the watch down to $159.99. Now, before we get into the watch just a little bit more, Invicta has really done well, I'll say. I don't know if I can kick some major butt in the last 2 years in F2 racing. First year they really joined officially, they won the championship, and there are two cars, 2 drivers per team. And I believe there are at least 11, there might have been a couple more, but full-time teams. Invicta came number 1, and that was back in 2024. Guess what? They repeated it again in 2025. So back-to-back championships, which is pretty cool. That goes along with it. So there's a lot that really goes along with Invicta and also with that influence of racing. And so that's what this watch is going to be. You see the Invicta Racing on the back here. You can see the model number and everything that goes along with it. So what this watch is, over here, let me just tell you one thing. I told you the price, but actually there are 3 different color choices. So if you click above or you click on that link, there is a green, which I have. There's an orange and also a red color option. So be sure to check those out. Me, I like the green the best. It just actually matched the shoes I had on today. I'll be posting that, and I think Shop HQ might post one of those photos too a little bit later on here, just after the live stream. So yeah, it's a quartz movement. You're going to get a nice, accurate, reliable movement on the inside. Now over right here, you'll see we have a retrograde day of the week. That's pretty cool to be able to see on there. Date of the month is going to be at this subdial right here. And then perpetual seconds right down at that 6 o'clock position. So with this timepiece here, it does have that curved crystal that goes across, and that is actually a mineral crystal on this variation. You can see the vertical brush that goes straight down here and more of a matte type of finish for the very top, a high polish right here. And then the bracelet, it almost looks like it's titanium. It's not. It is stainless steel, but it's done in that matte format, that just heavily matte format. There aren't any, you can't really see any sort of reflection by any means whatsoever. I really like that design, how it carries up into the top portion of the bezel case. It alternates with a little bit of some high polishing. That's a part of it. You can see on the inside too, as we're just looking at the dial, the 3-dimensional build that carries along off to either side. You have the check, like the checkered here for the starting line, that's a part of it. And the colors on the inside too, for whatever color you get, whether you're getting this green, the orange, or also the red. It's going to be just really cool to have. Now there's, in addition to that, the bracelet is going to be 26 millimeters. It's going to taper down to about that 23, 24 millimeters. And then as we measure the watch, it's going to be 47 millimeters, and that's going west to east. And I'll just double check that here for you. Let me just get out my calipers. So as we're going west to east and not including the crown, that's from 9 to 6, we're looking right at that 47 millimeters. The crystal, let me just see, I have to do it towards me so I can see. The crystal at its widest spot is about 37 millimeters. If we're looking lug to lug, which a lot of you like to see, we're right at about 50 millimeters. Overall profile sitting up off the watch is 13.8, 13.9. It just went up just a little bit over to 14.2. The weight is 186 grams, and that comes out to about 6.6 ounces. So it's not going to be overly heavy on the wrist. Now, I did use the cone here to be able to measure the wrist size. 8 3/4 for sure. 9-inch is going to be a little tough on that. I mean, if you like the watch really tight and pinching your wrist, 9, but I would say probably not. So it has to be 8 3/4 or underneath to be able to get into this timepiece. So I'll put it on my wrist here to just show you what it looks like. 30 meters of water resistance, so you can, get the watch wet a little bit, no problem whatsoever. I really like, though, if you can see this, how the watch just curves and just goes along with the contour of your wrist. The lugs will drop down. You can see how that looks. But I really like the combination of the bracelet, how it's done in that matte finish, and then it also just goes along to some of the bezel here on the timepiece. And just the colors really just pop out too. I think it just looks awesome on the wrist. And look at this too. There's even a little gasket that goes along right here over the crown of the timepiece. So yes, coupon code MAR for March, M-A-R, windup, W-I-N-D-U-P 20. I want you to write that down, and you can use that here during the course of the show, or you can use it later on too. So that's good. Let me see what, let me see some people here, if there are any comments that I missed, and some more that actually jumped on. The bracelet Invicta claws, it is stainless steel, but it is done in that that matte finish that makes it look like titanium, but it's not titanium. It is stainless steel. So good question. Bob Cohen is here. Good to see you, Bob. Thank you so much for being here. Michael Hugh, thank you for joining. Appreciate you being here. Russell, hello. Darius, thank you for being here. And so many others. Reminds me of the Shot Blast finish. Yes, but not quite as dark. Actually, you're right, Navy Doc. That's a good call on that. So thank you so much for those of you who are tuning in on YouTube, or if it's Instagram, or if it's on Facebook, wherever. I'm just going through the Shop HQ website and just looking at the comments from there. So Tim Shaw, hello. Good to see you again. Thank you for being here. All right, well, we're going to wrap up that first timepiece and then just go on to the second here. So the Bolt collection, oh my gosh, I was a part of the show back on Shop HQ. I believe it was 2008 when the first Bolt timepiece came out. Is that Bolt Generation 1? I believe Al was on the show. I think, yeah, it was with Jim Skelton, actually. It was with Jim Skelton, and they blasted through an hour, and I think it must have been at midnight Eastern, 11 o'clock in Minnesota. And the watches were just on fire. Everybody was just so enamored by this cable design that was a part of the timepiece. It was incorporated into the bezel. It had all these different stations that were holding this 1 millimeter cable on the timepiece. And there's still some generation 1s you'll find today. I have two generation 1s, one on a strap and one on a bracelet. But it really just started this, it really kicked off this huge collection for Invicta. And that's a Bolt collection. Now this watch, you'll be able to see, there is that cable design that goes around. Now this is about a 3 millimeter cable. So you'll see how it just goes around. It's held in cleverly by these different stations. There are 6 different stations which also act as your minute markers in 10-minute increments going around. So you can reference that then to tell the time inside of this watch. Now with this timepiece here, okay, we're going to start off. This is a, just double check. Okay, this price, $1,095 retail. Okay, you can feel this timepiece too. There's a nice weight associated with it. Shop HQ decided, you know what, we're not going to do that. We're going to go down. We're going to take 87% off right off the bat. So it brings the watch down to $139.99. But then from there, it's going down even further, down to $111.99 with the Mar Windup 20. So you get the Mar Windup 20. That's a part of this design here for the watch. I mean, sorry, Mar Windup 20 is going to give you another 20% off, brings it down to $111.90. So that is what the Bolt collection is. You'll be able to see on the case back here. The Bolt collection, right there. And then the tagline is actually on the case back of the watch. It says a nautical ensemble. What that really means is Invicta has a lot of collections that are nautically based, like Sea Spider. You're getting into just the Pro Diver collection, the Grand Diver, the Sea Hunter. There's just a lot of different nautical themes that go along with it. Now the Bolt collection is because it's referencing this cable design, and cables are used, or it looks like a rope too, or what's called a line in nautical terms, to tie up the boat and such. But cables are used on cruise ships. They're, you know, to keep everybody in and safe, and so you don't fall overboard. Cables are also used to lift up like personal watercraft or any other cargo for like larger ships out there. So there's many different uses. Sailboats use cables also in terms of just holding up the mast and everything else, and for the sails to hike up the sails and such. So yeah, a lot of different things. So that's what the nautical ensemble means. Now there's a nautical play that goes along with this watch too, because the abalone dial on the inside actually comes from the sea. And so it's that organic material. So the dial, look at this, just look at all that dial, just completely reflects all the light there, and you just get this beautiful burst of the full color spectrum inside of the timepiece here. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Now there are 3 color choices, so I forgot to go over those. I actually have the two-tone, and what that refers to is the gold tone and then also that silver tone. There's a silver tone version, but I believe the cable, the bolt cable will be then done in gold, that gold tone, and then there's a black version also. Or sorry, 3 color choices: silver tone, two-tone, and gold tone. Right, okay. So that's where the gold tone is primarily gold tone all the way through. So Carlos says, I go back to the Bolt Zeus. I remember that watch, Bolt Zeus's. I have a couple of them. They're just truly amazing. We look at some of the other comments here. Tim Shaw, as I already said, hi. Bob says, I still have my Bolt 1. Oh, yeah. I'm sure you bought on that first show then, too. You probably know that, remember that show, Bob. Let's see. Invicta Claus is a great watch. Navy Doc, Jim Skelton and Mike Davis. Yep, Mike Davis and Jim did a lot of watch shows together. Al came up to the network for some special launches also. I believe that particular one was Al. I believe it was. I think I remember what studio because I was modeling in it. I think Mike Davis he could have done like a follow-up show right after. Let's see. Some other comments here. Jerry, thank you for being here. Russell bought it. Bought it in that one. It's nice looking. I agree. I like this color choice with the two-tone. That's about it. Russell, I like the abalone dial and the high polishers. Yeah, let's check this out. So basically that cable is done in a high polish fashion. You'll see just a little bit of a beveled edge that goes around for the crystal on this timepiece. And with the crystal on this watch, I just want to double check something with the mineral crystal in this version. And then it's a brush, or also not a brush, actually a matte finish, and then you can see the high polish that goes around. Look at the individual hour markers that carry all the way around. They're actually rising up from the dial that goes up. And with the movement on the inside, you're getting the 24-hour scale and chronograph. So you get the VD53 from Time Module Inc. for this timepiece. Then heavy bracelet. You'll see I like how it looks right down the middle here, just with the offset edging that carries along for the watch. And with this version, you're getting the scissor style deployant closure on the timepiece here. So you get that upgraded clasping closure here with that designation of stainless steel. Now in terms of the overall case size, 51 millimeters, and you're looking at about 18 millimeters in the overall profile. 18 millimeters is going to be about 2/3 of an inch, or 0.66 of an inch, rising up then off the wrist. The overall weight, I believe this is the heaviest watch, 322 grams, or about 11.5 ounces with this timepiece then on your wrist. And this watch, along with the next watch, they're actually very generous for what they can fit on the wrist. And these watches will fit, or this one will fit up to about a 9.25 inch wrist size. So this is Tony White approved. Tony has a 9-inch wrist, unless things have changed since last I saw him. But as you can see right here, now it says 9.5, but it always goes to the line that is below. So like 10-inch, you can see that bold line. So we're looking at 9.25 for this watch. I'll put the watch on my wrist so you can see what that looks like. And then we're going to move on to the next timepiece, which is actually another bolt. So look at this. I have a smaller wrist. I have about a 6 3/4. I gained some weight, over the last couple of years. My wrist was up to about a 7, but now it's gone back down to about a 6 3/4 inch wrist size. And this watch fits really, really nice on the wrist. And I'll tell you, for that price, by using that coupon code MAR Windup 20, save 20% off, $111.99. This watch looks and it feels like it should be worth so much more, that you should have paid so much more. Others will think the same. It's a really, really nice timepiece here. So yeah, all right, good watch. Now here, I just want to show you really quick, in comparison to the next bolt, I'm going to show you, they're about the same size, but you can see different colors. the different stations that hold in. You can see the different stations that hold in that cable around the bezel, different bracelet designs, different dials. I really like actually that this iridescent version is going to have that, just more that white and silver tone dial. So here we go with the abalone, and now we're going to move over then to the iridescent variation. So this is the only version in the iridescent for this option. Now sale, or the regular retail MSRP for this watch is, it's called the 52 millimeter bolt quartz chronograph iridescent bracelet. So $1,195 for this timepiece. Shop HQ brought it down 87% to $149.99, and by using that coupon code MARWINDUP20, March Windup 20, you'll save 20% off, brings it down to $119.99, under $120 for the iridescent. For that, look at this, it's so cool. Even the cable design, the bolt cable design, is done in that iridescent here with the timepiece. Now this watch, this is the only color choice that's available here with the link that Harry has actually put up. So, I mean, definitely a presence on your wrist when you put this watch on. The bracelet is even more generous. We're looking at, 10-inch legit. And look at this. I think I can just put my hand through. Yep, look at that. Even without the bracelet, undone. It's got the scissor style deployment closure. Look at this. Where's that 10-inch mark? Right there. 10 inches. Boom. Very, very generous here. The weight is going to be 306 grams, or 10.7 ounces. And let's just look at this beauty a little bit more. We have the VD54 for the movement on the inside. So it's a quartz movement. It's going to be nice and accurate. No winding. Right here, you get the 24-hour scale. That's your AM, PM indicator. And perpetual seconds is that large hand that's moving right here. And here's the chronograph. Chronograph seconds, chronograph minutes. What a chronograph is, it's just an analog stopwatch here on the timepiece. And so if I press this top button up here, you'll see right down here, that will then start the chronograph. So that's measuring elapsed time by seconds. Now once this lower subdial makes one full revolution, up here will advance one step forward. So you can measure elapsed time all the way up to the course of an hour, from the minute all the way down then to the second. So if I want to stop, look at, I press this top button, everything stopped. And once everything is in the stop position, I press the lower function pusher at the 4 o'clock position. Watch what happens then to that little hand in that lower subdial. Goes all the way back to 0. So then, there you go. And then you can always tell if it's AM or PM, because right now, you'll see it's coming up to the 20th hour of the day. There's 24 right up at the very top. You know then that this is PM, because with the time here, we're coming up to 8 o'clock. There's an upgraded Flame Fusion crystal on this watch here. It's a little bit of a domed crystal that you can see, just with that magnification that goes along. And look at the dial design too, a little top plate that's sort of been cut out. And then you get the little halos that go around both the chronograph subdials, the 6 and 9 o'clock position. So I really like that. I mean, some might say like, oh, I just wish everything was iridescent on this watch. Me personally, I like the fact that you have all that iridescent, but then when it comes to the dial, it looks totally different. So it just really, sort of says iridescent stop. Here, we're going to have a nice, clean looking dial for you, so you can look inside and tell the time. So I think this is just a fantastic timepiece. Let me look at any other things I wrote down that I wanted to talk about with the watch. The black halos, as I mentioned, the little accent for the orange, that's part of this timepiece. Here it is on my wrist. Check that out. Let me know too, for those of you who are watching right now, does everything look pretty clear when I bring the watch up? I'm trying to get everything as focused as possible here. It looks like I think I have just a little bit more light. I've been playing with my studio a little bit. And I think the more light, the better the watch actually shows when I do the close-ups here. So just give me a thumbs up, or hit the heart button, or just say, yeah, it looks pretty clear, or no, Ryan, you don't know what you're doing. Then I'll just try to figure it out better. So, okay, we have one more watch, but let me just look at some of the comments here that are going on right now. Oh my gosh, a lot. Oh yes, very clear. Thank you. Okay, that's great to hear. Better pop, inner dial contrast. Perfect. Agreed. Let's see. That's a beast. Iridescent is nice. Let's see who said that. Invicta Claus. Jerry, nice iridescent bracelet. Yeah, you know what, Jerry? Let me just show that bracelet a little bit further. It's a 3-link design. And you'll see it's brushed actually on the outside. Hold on one second. Let me just polish that bracelet when I show you guys. 1 second. There, this is going to really look nice now. So you'll see that bracelet. Look at the high polish that just goes through right here. And then on the outer bracelet, or the outer links, those are done in a matte finish. So even though everything is iridescent, there's still a contrast actually that goes along here. Oh, look at that. Phil just said, ordered the 51mm bolt two-tone. Thank you, Phil. And use that coupon code, right? Give us a thumbs up that you use that coupon code MARWindup20. Save 20% off. That's the way to go. Let me see if there's any other comments that I missed real quick, and I'll go on to the last. Cool, that's a thicker cable. Yes. Let's see. Hey, Ryan, love the abalone dial. Yep, Jerry, that was on the previous watch. Let me just show you too, real quick. Here's the previous timepiece that we had before, both from the Bolt collection. It's a little hard to see both of them here. And, oops, I have this one upside down. My apologies. So you can see some similarities, but then you have different colors. You have different looks for the bezel, different bracelet designs, different color, different materials for the dial. And then, of course, that Invicta Racing, that first timepiece that we started off with, if you just joined on, super hot watch here going along with this timepiece. So, yeah, it's great. All right, one final timepiece. And I have seen this watch before. I've presented it before. And it's pretty cool. It's with this process that Invicta decided to, in a sense, initiate into the watch industry. And so we're calling this the Pro Diver. It's also been known previously as, not the Grand Diver, but the Grand Pro Diver, which is a 52mm, like a donut-shaped watch, which is about, I think, 20mm in the overall profile. A lot of you will recognize this design right here. And so it is that larger timepiece. And we'll get into some of the specifics here in just a moment. Regular price, $1,095 MSRP. Sale price, 85% off at $164.99. And with that coupon code MAR for March, MAR Windup 20, brings the watch down to under $132, down to $131.99. Right away, a lot of you are just going to be looking, and a lot of you probably have seen it before, but some of you may have not, that you might be newer. With the process of what is called that hydroplating process that's been done here for the bezel, the case, and also the bracelet for the watch. Now, I'm going to break this down here for you. The only color option available here for this timepiece is actually here, the black. And so that's what you're getting. You get that black and that white. But I want to show you this just as I'm reading, or just telling you, reading just a little bit. I'm just summarizing it up here about this hydroplating process. And so what this actually is I mean, it's a very durable material to start out with. I mean, it can really take on, some scuffs, like if you would typically, like with a timepiece, it was high polished, or if it was even brushed finished, and it brushes up against something, you might be able to get a scratch. This is going to be even a little bit more resistant to that. And so how this actually works is that there's like a deep stage surface cleaning that uses mineral spirits. And then the background color preparation is used with solvents, and also like using a synthetic resin. And then what happens is, by hand, the different components, actually it's like in a tank, and there's an image that's lying on top of the tank face down, which is this point down. So then, and what happens is it gets hand dipped, and then everything really adheres to the timepiece here, which is super cool. It just gets submerged, and then it's gently and carefully laid out, and it's what's called a hydro shield, and it really prepares the liquid. And what that does is it just really helps then that image adhere here to the bracelet then. And once everything is done, and once the image has been adhered to a three-dimensional object, is a two-dimensional object adhered to a three-dimensional object, a fine layer or protective coating actually is applied, and it just really hardens and it really protects the hydroplating process. Now, what I like about the hydroplating process is that every watch will look different. So because you have this image, especially with this graffiti design, it's all done in skulls. If you look a little bit closer, you can see it's done in the skull fashion. And what's so cool is, look at, from different links, the image carries through. So you can see, like right down here, you get that mouth and how it goes through the individual links as a part of it. Or even here, you can see the eye sockets for the skull. Here's one eye socket, here's the other. There's a nasal cavity. See how that actually is going through the individual links? It's really, really cool design. Very, very, it's been extremely popular here over time. And so it's a different way of like water transfer printing. I think Invicta had the idea to do this when motorcycles would actually do that to some of the fuel tanks, to just have a completely different design that go along with it. Now here are some of the details. The VD53 is the movement on the inside. So you have your 24-hour scale, you have your chronograph seconds, chronograph minutes. Oops, you know what? Let me just see really quick here. There we go. Okay, so then as you look up, in addition to the watch, 52 millimeters, like I said before, by about 20 millimeters. It's high profile on the watch. It's going to be sitting up pretty high, as you'll see, off the wrist. 314 grams or 11.1 ounces is the overall weight. You have wrist sizes all the way up to about 8 3/4 with this watch, and 100 meters of water resistance. Now, what I like too is you get the oversized Arabic numerals on the inside for all the individual hour markers. But then too, everything is black and red on or black and white on the outside here for the design of the watch. But then once you look in the dial, there's a little bit of that gray or charcoal. But then all hands, well, for the 3 subdials and your perpetual seconds are all done in red, which then just stand out a little bit more. I like, even from looking from back here, you can just see that red is just popping on the inside of the dial. And then you can just see too, the skulls. You can see more of that skull design, all in that graffiti work here for the timepiece. I'll put the watch on my wrist here. You know what? Jerry said something too. He says you have to be careful sizing to keep the watch design even. And here's the thing too. Jerry's right. When you're sizing the watches and you're sizing with the graffiti, if you're not particular, you don't care, you don't care. But with this design, if you're going to take out links, you want to take out links as far down as possible. Now, technically, you probably could start right down here and work your way up. Me personally, I wouldn't start in the middle and take out links, because the flow of the graffiti, probably nobody else would notice except you, but that's what I would do. I would start as low as I can and then work your way up. And when you're sizing links, let's just say you have to take out 4 links. You don't want to take out 4 links from one side, because then it brings up the clasp super high up to here. The watch is going to be unbalanced then, and that clasp isn't going to be sitting on your wrist where it should be, which is right here. It's going to be off to the side. It's going to feel really odd. So you always want to try to do, if you have an even number, take one off from each side. And my recommendation is, when you're sizing a bracelet, if you have an odd number, let's just say you have 3, take 2 off of this side right here, which doesn't have the micro adjustments. So take 2 off of over here, and you take the 3rd link, just 1, off of this side, because most likely you're going to have to adjust the micro adjustments a little bit, and you're going to go in, which will compensate and get it closer to that 2 links. So the clasp is under your arm or under your wrist size, and it's just fitting much better. Bob Cohen says these are nice. Let's see, try to preserve the design when styling is what Anthony says, or Invicta Claws. Jerry, start as close to the bottom and take an even on each side. That's correct. Well, let me just look really quick here at any other comments. I've actually gone over my little time limit, but it's been fun here tonight. Let's see if anything else. Phil That Pro Diver hydroplating is popping. I agree 100%. Stunning electroplating. Jerry said, Ryan, the colors in the racing looks like Christmas. Definitely does. Almost a candy cane there too, as you can see. I agree with that. And Phil, thumbs up. I just ordered the 31 two-tone bolt. It's a beauty. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate that. Let's see if anything else here for the one size graph. Any other comments? Jerry, love the abalone dial. Okay, you guys, be sure to follow me on social media. That's Invicta Ryan on Facebook. It's the Ryan Code on Instagram and also on X. Be sure to follow Shop HQ, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything out there. Sign up for their emails. Sign up for their text alerts also. And the next show will actually be coming up here on Wednesday the 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I don't know who I'm having yet. So it might be Invicta, might be another brand. I guess we'll find out. But thank you so much. And if you need to reach out to me, if you have any questions, just like some of you did last week, you can find me on social media and just send me a message. I'll be checking them here over the next couple days. So thank you so much. Genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. Uh-oh, did one of you just text me? Nope, that was just something else. All right, well, I'm going to bounce here. So I will see all of you and invite a friend. Invite a friend to join up here coming up on Wednesday. It'd be great to see them. And if you want to put their name out there too during the course of the show, you get them to come and join. We'll give them a shout out. So it'd be great. Thank you so much. Good night, you all. Catch you on Wednesday.